Hello everybody, John from Windy City Origami. Minasan konbanwa, John desu. Alright, we're going to be continuing to fold the saru, the monkey here today. So this is Enrique Martinez's monkey, and we left off on step number 27. Go ahead and pull up the diagrams here and go straight down here to step number 27. So the next step here is to turn the model over. So we'll go ahead and do that. And then as you can see in step number 28, we're lifting the front layer, but we're not making a new crease. So the next steps are drawn with the whole layer completely lifted for clarity, but there is no need to go that far. And then what's happening here is when you open up this paper, as you can see, there's a gap in the middle. So just kind of open it up to start. And now there is a valley fold that's taking place here on the right, okay? And make a mental note, but don't fold just yet. This is a reverse fold and a crimp combined. All right, so let's zoom in here. So it gives a little bit of a snapshot kind of in step 30, what it's going to look like, but just for clarity, let me zoom in so everybody can have a closer look at this. So it's a reverse fold and a crimp at the same time. Okay, so let's kind of get it started. So it's the angle bisector. So as you can see, when you open up the paper, you get a glimpse at kind of where we can get this started. And what's going to happen is it's going to be a reverse fold. So I'm basically, this reverse fold though is taking place inside of this little lip. Okay, so let me get out my little tool here. So that's taking place kind of inside of here. So we're going to have to kind of figure this out as we go. It's been a while since I folded my monkey. And I'm not an expert folder of this model by any means. But we're going to fold it inside. And as you can see, what's going to happen is it's going to go all the way down into the corner, and then there's going to be a mountain fold that starts kind of naturally take place on the upper piece here. So that's the mountain fold that you're aiming for, but you want that mountain fold to be, so you're going to see this valley fold that we just did, it's going to be further to the left, okay? So try to get it further over to the left if you can. And then once you kind of get it pivoted over there, kind of going into the corner, go ahead and make a crease. Okay, you see how I just did that? So now if I pull mine down, I can take a look at where it landed. And on mine, I actually went a little bit too far, to be honest with you. So I'm going to refold mine. It's kind of tough because you got to get in there and keep the angle kind of sharp up. And mine is now kind of overlapping, and the vertex is further over to the right, whereas it needs to be further in there. This is a tough one. So you may need a tool if you have smaller paper like I chose to start with here. So when I put my tool in here, I get a much better shot of where to fold. Okay, so I apologize for the scale there and using the tool, but in my case with such small paper, it's a little bit necessary to get that mountain fold created. So now what's happening is, you see that mountain fold that we just created? If I pull it down, it's now at an appropriate angle. When we fold this over to do a reverse fold, what's going to happen is that this is going to kind of crimp in, okay, along that mountain fold. So watch this crimp. This crimp is, if we move ahead to the next step, you can see it quite clearly. So as you can see, we have this little white trapezoid kind of region down here, okay? And if you look really closely in here, you can view that. So what we need to do is start creating that. Okay, and to do that, you need to kind of pinch all the way in there, and then fold this, pivot this all the way up, so this white line right here on this outer edge is now going to be parallel with the base. So it's going to be, you know, flat down. With this being, it's going to be perpendicular to this vertical line. Okay, so it's going to be in the horizontal direction is where you want to fold that into place. And then what will happen is it'll kind of create a little pocket inside of there, as you can see. Okay, and that's the region now of focus in this next step. Okay, so let's take a close look at this here and just make sure that we are matching. So this is kind of a 3D. So if you push this in, the kind of clue that I'm missing here is if you push this in and then take that little white flap and fold it down, that's the triangle that you're seeing in this step right here. Okay, so it's kind of like a closed hood. It's all 3D in here, but it's a closed. If you push it all the way in and fold it down, you get this little triangle that goes down type of thing. And then this next step is showing, okay, take that paper, this paper here, and valley fold it down. Okay, so on mine, maybe a little bit tricky here. Let's zoom out and take a close look. So it's the whole flap that you're folding down. Notice the end position of the completed step 29. Lower the colored triangle and only then fold previous step. Lower the colored triangle. Oh, interesting. So if you take that triangle there, that would have been nice to have read ahead. If you take that triangle and fold it down, it makes that fold a lot easier. That kind of makes sense. So then basically this whole triangle, I believe, then is now going to fold down like this, something. It's just going to come right back into place. So yes. Now, I think what we can do is actually now valley fold the whole thing up. Let me just check and make sure here. Lift the front layer, but don't make a new crease. Next steps are drawn with a whole layer completely lifted for clarity, but there is no need to go that far. Make a mental note. You don't fold just yet. This is a reverse fold and a crimp combined. Okay, so we got that, step 30. And we should be able to repeat that without too much effort on the next side, which is, lo and behold, it's exactly the next step. So we can go ahead and get started with that here. But let's just confirm here that there's no valley fold up, because what's really deceiving to me at the moment is kind of the depiction, the very precise depiction in step 31 and 32 of these triangles. You can see there's the colored triangle on the top and the white triangle on the bottom. And if I fold it very precisely up, I'm going to see that exact same thing on mine. But I don't think there's any hard fold being called for. And I think the reason is because this is the top of the head, and you'd have a crease up there at the top of the head. If you already did fold it all the way up, not a big deal, but it's not necessary. So I guess when you look at these steps, it's still kind of 3D, steps 30 and 31. So we're kind of looking into the model when you have this. So we're going to repeat the same thing on the other side. So let's just back up. We'll go through that right now, 29 through 31. So again, it's just that valley fold directly in. And you're going to kind of go inside. And what was recommended was to pull this flap down when we made this fold. But the key is, I think this has to go all the way into the corner. If we're not mistaken. Yes, it does. all the way into the corner. I feel like I'm doing surgery here. I'm not really looking at the camera either, so sorry about that, guys. So as you can see, I'm going all the way into the corner right there. And then I'm going over to the other side of it, and then I'm creasing it down, getting it kind of started. So I just kind of started a fold there. So now when this comes into place, that fold is there to begin with. Now what I need to just make sure is it goes right into that corner. And then this brown piece is going to come down like this. So now I have these shapes. See, I have two brown triangles on the outsides and two white on the insides. And if I open it up, you can kind of see what I did inside. So that's that little crimp, as you can see. Okay, so there's just a little lip inside of there that comes down like that. Okay, little tiny lip. All right. So next is step number 32, and we're lowering the front layer back down as I suspected. So step 33, the next steps focus on the head. All right, so step 34. Zoom in here. Valley fold the front layer to form the face. No reference. Use the force. Or think up to the ears. All right. Enrique is a Star Wars fan. That is evident. All right, so you fold this up to a valley fold on step 34. And as you can see in step 35, it's just kind of loose. There's no real reference, as he points out. Now, you are going to notice if you have these lines on your model. Let's just zoom in here. Hold on a second. Yeah, it's just valley folding it up. So there's lines here, which is interesting. Okay, so when I push it down, actually they now pop up through the stress of the paper. You can see those lines right there. These are the lines that are showing up. And as you can see, this is coming up not quite all the way, but you're leaving a small gap. So go ahead and push that down. And then mountain fold the tip to shape the face. Something like that. Okay, and then next is mountain fold the sides of the face, trying not to make the chin too pointy. Okay, so don't make the chin too pointy here. So you're mountain folding behind. Just like that. I'm kind of leaving a little gap. I agree, that would, don't really want a pointy chin monkey. Something kind of like that. Okay. And then on to step 37. So step 37. The flaps folded in step 36 should tuck into the pockets formed in steps 29 through steps 30. So there's a little pocket in there. So if we open it up, let's just check and see this pocket. And there is kind of like a little pocket. So that the pocket is just basically, it's going inside. You kind of have to open it up to push it, to tuck it in. And mine just kind of naturally did that, except for on this other side. So I'm just going to open it up, just tuck it in. That's kind of the pocket that I am seeing here. So just to double check steps in 29 and 30, I think that was that crimp madness that we had going on. 29 through 30, yes it was, 29 through 30. So lodged in there, so it's just a flap being tucked away inside of there. Turn the model over to check. Okay, so as you can see in step 37, it's saying once you fold these back, turn behind and check. So when you open it up, you should be able to see kind of what they're referencing. So you should have this little triangular pocket here, and the paper is going, as you can see, behind it. This is actually behind that little triangle going down. That's your brown triangle, so it's behind it. So that's exactly what we did. So the ears are behind. Okay, so now this next steps focus on the ear. Okay, so step 39, reverse fold the tip of the ear inside. So we're still folding it backwards now, and over here just at the very tip of the ear, we're just doing a very small little reverse fold. Okay, just like that. And then step 40 is valley fold to cover the white and reverse fold the lower tip of the ear inside. So on my paper, it's going to be a little bit tough since I've gotten so small in here. But as you can see, I'm going to open up this paper. So this piece right here is going to pivot out. I'm kind of putting my little tweezer in there and kind of grabbing it. That's going to go out. When we fold this over, that's going out. So when we fold this over, that's going to create a little lip, a little reverse fold in. So then what's going to happen is when we turn it over, that ear is going to kind of have this nice little shape to it. And you'll have that on your larger version or a smaller version if you're doing 15 centimeters. It's just hard to show you with such small paper, but that bottom piece is reverse folded in, and the rest of it goes inside, just like that. Okay, so we're going to repeat the same thing on the other side. So the first step is to reverse fold up here on the top. Something like that. And then we'll do the same thing. We'll open up the bottom, kind of get this valley fold going. And as we get this valley fold going, we're going to reverse fold on the bottom piece. As you can see, I'm going in. On the bottom, I'm just doing a little reverse fold, just like that. So now if we turn it over, that ear has two ridges, as you can see. So they look relatively similar, I'd say. So now your monkey has nice little ears. Okay. So we are now on step number 43. All right. So rabbit ear the whole model in half. So we're going to turn it back around, and we're basically doing a valley fold down the center. And then up here where it pivots, and up here at the top, you're gonna see in the back at the base of the neck there. That's gonna be our pivot point. So what I'm gonna do is just get that started. So there's some mountain folds going this way. So I'm gonna find that spot, and you can kind of see this is going to create a diamond, so it comes up here to a point. Okay, that is not the point where you're meeting with this rabbit ear. You're actually meeting a little bit higher up. So if you look behind, that is actually exactly right where this comes down. Okay, so kind of if you turn it over, you can see that's higher up than this point here. So it's actually that you can actually see these lines. There's two lines right here, one right here, and one right here. Right in that area is where this mountain fold has to start. Okay, so get deep up in there before you do it, and then go ahead and create the mountain fold. And as you can see, there's a little bit of a reference. So if I zoom in on the diagram here, it's actually going right into that corner. That's a reference. You can see how it's going right into that corner. So now we know the reference up here, way up in here, and the next reference is kind of right below in that area. So since we have 2 reference points, we can go ahead and make the fold. So I've gotten that 1 going, and then on the other side I'm going to mimic the exact same thing. Okay, so then what's going to happen is that these are going to kind of mountain fold out, as you can see. They're going to meet up here in the middle. And then the top, the whole model. Sorry about that with the camera. The whole model is then going to come up like this valley fold up. And then the monkey's head is going to kind of come down. So let's take a look and see where the monkey's head is going to come down. So the next step is a side view. So as I'm pinching it in, a side view would be, right, I suppose from here. So as you can see, if I push these all the way in, all the way to the top, kind of creates that diamond they're showing there. And you can see the back of the face. And you can see the rest of the model there as well. So I guess that's an accurate drawing of kind of what we have. And reverse fold the tails. Now you can see where it's landing. Okay, see the head? Let's turn it this way. Take a look at our monkey, and the head is going to kind of pivot all the way up there. Okay, so let's take a look. Just confirm the creases, which ones we may have missed. So we've got the 2 mountain folds here, and the valley folds. Those are the ones we missed. So those go all the way up here to the top of the ear, okay? So what we can do is kind of get that started as well. Or what we can do is just remember when we fold it down, that's where it's going to land. But I'm going to get it started, at least on one of them. Go right to that same point. So now when I come down, the whole head's going to come up. Now it kind of pushes, and I got a little bit of a hole at the top. You gotta be careful with kami. I don't like that. So yeah, you have to be very careful if you're using kami on the head. So that angle didn't actually turn out. So I'm just going to kind of force it down like the diagrams. So I'm just going to come down, and it actually goes further up than you'd think. So you're just going to kind of pull the head up. Get it to come down just like that. Okay. And I'm embarrassed because I just tore it. That's not good. So be very careful. That it's very thick paper up there. But now we've got a nice little kind of mask for our monkey, which is what monkeys have. So now we're reverse folding the tail. Okay, so we will reverse fold the tail. This large tail right here, we're just going to go up to the top, kind of the bottom portion of the front arms. And we're going to pivot it up, and if you take a look at step 46, you can kind of see the angle. So something like that. Okay, and mountain fold the tail in half inside, repeat behind. So I'm just going to take half of it and fold it right into the middle. Nice little pointy tail now. And then make the foot with a crimp fold. So what you're going to do for this is you're going to go a mountain fold here going up, and then a valley fold going down. So the mountain fold is going to go all the way up as high as it can possibly go, and the crimp is going to come down. So you can kind of pinch your thumb like this and kind of get it, and then that foot is you don't want to let your right thumb go up too far. So keep the right thumb down further. It should be like right above that piece that's hanging out below. Okay, so maybe actually right at that piece. So that's actually a good way to look at it. Then you're doing a mountain fold right here, and this piece is just kind of coming in behind it. You're pivoting. Easier said than done. So what you're gonna have to do is open this paper up. Okay, as you can see, it's thin. There's one sheet there. That's where, when you open it up, that's where you're gonna have to perform this crimp fold. Okay, so it's gonna kind of come inside from both areas. It's a hard one. So what you can do is you can kind of open up the paper like this. You can kind of get that first fold in place. So what I'll do is open up the paper. I'll get that first fold kind of going in the right direction, at least on one side. And I'll try to mimic it on the other side. And you can actually pre-crease it by just doing this. I should have thought of this way earlier. So pre-crease it like that, and then fold the other. Once you do that, so you want the foot to come out. Okay, so push it in like this. Get the foot to come out. This is going to be way easier, guys, just to get these pre-creases in place. So fold it up. So you're going right to where that is, and then after that you're going to fold it down like this, and it's going to meet in the bottom right corner. Okay, now as you can see, that foot is coming forward. Okay, get it so it's going to be flat and parallel with the head, so that this will actually stand. Okay, and then pinch that down. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. Whew, should have practiced this one here. This is not an easy one. Okay, so now once you get those pre-creased, now is when we can do this. Open it up. What you're going to do is on both sides, you're going to open it up. And you're going to get that fold to go the other way on one of them. Alright, I just had a moment there to myself. So sometimes when I fold, I just go into this very quiet zone. Alright, so there's one foot, and I'll have to apologize, I was not on camera at all. Let me focus more on getting this in front of the camera. You're going to open it up. This one is going to go in. And on the other side, it's also going to go in. And it will pivot. It's going to pivot like this, and then come down. Okay. So that creates two sturdy little feet. Okay. That completes step number 47. So step 48, valley fold the ears slightly, curve the tail, and stand on its feet. Oh, this is the last step. All right, everybody, if you made it this far, congratulations. We're going to do the front of the ears. So we're just going to valley fold these forward. And like that. And then and as you can see on this model, that white mask area kind of doesn't actually go all the way. It doesn't cover any of that triangle. So you may want to go around the mask. It's up to you how you want to do that. I'm just going to fold the mask as well as I do that. Doesn't really bother me. Fold the mask in a little bit at the bottom. kind of like that. So that's to taste. Now, the first time I folded this, I did something a little bit different with the ears. So I did a crimp in and then a crimp out. So that's a little bit of an different interpretation. So on this one, it's up to you which one looks more monkey-ish. So if you want to do a crimp, then you kind of go higher up than that line, and valley fold in, and then mountain fold back. So I'm going to leave it like it is, and that really bums me out that I tore the paper there. What you can do in that case is apply a little bit of super glue. I know it's cheating, but it works. I actually don't have any right next to me, but it actually will hide it, so it makes it at least somewhat semi-presentable if you want to present some of these and make like a scene out of it or something. Another option is, and what I'm going to opt to do right now, is just kind of do a mountain fold back. So if you did destroy your head, you can just kind of mountain fold the top back and take care to go all the way across. That'll give you kind of a second chance here. And just be careful because it's going to want to tear. So kind of bring it in, and it's going to tear back even more probably, just like mine did. But then you kind of hide that. So now it's more of like a V-shaped monkey, but now there's no sign of a tear. So that would kind of mask that, and then when someone sees it, they're like, oh, that's perfect fold. Thank you. So this is to the diagrams. It's just kind of folding the ears valley folded. So we'll leave it like that for now. But the last final step is just shaping the tail. And the diagrams actually don't mention doing anything with the arms. So if you take a look at this monkey with the arms just kind of flat down, versus my monkey where I put the hands kind of going up, I don't know which one's better. I mean, which one looks more like a monkey? I mean, maybe this looks more like a squirrel, and that's why the designer opted to keep the hands down. So it's up to interpretation, but for sure we're going to get a little bit of a wave going in the tail. So we'll just grab it like this and just kind of twist a little bit and come back over, and maybe a third little tiny one at the end, and hold it down and release, and you have kind of like a little mouse-like tail. It depends. If you don't like that, like if it makes it look too much like a mouse, you can take that out. So that completes the monkey. Now what we can do is we can have the monkey stand up. So let's go ahead and see if we can have a monkey dance go on here. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll bring the camera down. Alright, hold on here, guys. So here are our monkeys. Zoom out, and we'll go ahead and have this one that we just made standing up, just like that. And we will take the other one and do the exact same thing. So there, now we have two monkeys having a conversation. So which one looks like more like a monkey? I think they both kind of look like monkeys. I don't know. They're both chatting. So, just having some fun with the camera there, but that completes the monkey, everybody. I hope everybody enjoyed, and I hope everybody can have a great rest of the day. 皆さん見てくれてありがとうございます。また、火曜日、新しいリス始まります。このリスはすごいですよ。 Look at this squirrel. We'll be folding this on Tuesday, starting on Tuesday. So be sure to tune in. This is Joe Nakashima's squirrel. This is a really nice model. But for everybody that joined, thank you so much. We've got a nice little cute monkey out of it. So you can set that somewhere and enjoy. It's a nice model, and I do like the fact that it stands up really nicely. You can do many different interpretations, like with the arms on this one. You can play around with it and come up with the different flavors. So just want to say thank you once again for tuning in, and I will see everybody again at 5 o'clock p.m. on Tuesday. I will try to make sure that I am 100% prepared, but looking ahead a little bit more with the squirrel. Today was a little bit off, a little bit of confusion on some of the steps, even though I'd folded it before. But thanks for following along, and I hope everybody's having fun. Any feedback, please provide them in the comments, and at any time, drop a like or share these videos. I'm new to kind of getting these videos out there, but any support you can provide would be great. Thanks a lot, everybody, and have a great day. 皆さんありがとうございます。またね。